Hello, YouTube. I want to tell you about my experience with Houston Community College Coleman campus. This is long overdue. I was a student there in their licensed vocational nursing program, and I was one of a handful of men. There were probably 3 or 4 of us in there. The class had 90 students in it. I quit my job to attend that program, a job that I had many years. And it was a disaster. The program was a disaster. We had a professor there that told us to study her lecture notes instead of reading the book, and everybody failed the 5th pharmacology exam. I don't even remember what her name was now. This is back when Mary Luckett was running the program with Miss Brent and Pearlie Watts. And I forgot who the director was, but I advocated for the other students. I tried to organize a program for student tutorials. There was a guy named Chuck Smozzi who was a former student that was teaching the tutorials program. He was guiding other students. We attended several times, me and other students did, and I took notes from him. I took detailed notes in class. I recorded all of the lecture notes on audio, and one day I went in front of the class on an unscheduled basis. We were doing instruction for 2 different campuses by a video teleconference, and I tried to start a petition because they weren't giving us the assistance for the Academic Success Center that we needed, me and the other students. I was in Mary Luckett's class at that time. I didn't know that she was the disciplinarian for the program. Shortly thereafter, I was called into the office with her and Mary Luckett and Miss Brent. And Mary Luckett gave me 2 disciplinary infractions and told me that if I received a 3rd, I'd be put out of the program permanently. And I was very upset, as you can imagine, because I was somebody who really advocated and fought for other people. And they told me when I got to the end of the program, after I failed the medication math exam by literally 1 question, and they put me on the program for, it was either 3 or 4 months. It was an entire semester I was going to have to be out. They told me, if I tried to go to level 2, that they were going to fail me out, that they would make sure that I failed. There was this black female professor. I don't remember exactly what her name was, but she called herself, and I'm quoting here by what she said, her own words verbatim, the med-surg witch. Now, if a professor is not on a power trip and saying something like that about themselves, then I don't know what a power trip looks like. These black women that ran the program, not just black women, there were some white women too, but mostly black women. And yes, I am making it about race here. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. They were absolutely power mad. I think it was Cheryl Brent. She was white, but she had a whole bunch of attitude. She was always coming in with messed up hair. She had cat hair on her clothes. She was one of the professors. And Mary Luckett, of course, she was an elderly black woman. She obviously got on her power, her position as disciplinarian in the program. And then there was the med-surg witch, of course. She by far was the most abusive at the end. She told me in no uncertain terms for the entire class that anybody with 2 or more disciplinary write-ups would not make it through level 2 or pass through level 2 to the third level to graduation. And a group of girls got together because I started a Facebook group for the other students and for myself to exchange notes and communicate important messages about the program. And they complained. And they said that one of my posts had singled them out. I'm not on there anymore. I don't even use Facebook. I haven't used it in years. They complained. And they caused a bunch of trouble. And that's what led me to get the write-ups. They complained about one post I put on there. It wasn't obscene or anything like that. I just said that only a few select few people feel as you do about the fairness of this. There was something we were discussing at that time. And they got together, about 10 of the girls from the program got together, both white and black, and went and complained to the program director as though I had singled them out, and I hadn't. And I got written up, and shortly thereafter, the majority of the class made an outcry about the unfairness of how I was treated and the fact that everybody had failed the 5th exam as well. And they ran a class election, which I refused to take a presidential position in the class as student body president to speak for, advocate for those students, because I had essentially been nuked. They told me, hey, you're not going to make it through the program no matter what happens from this point. No matter what happens, even though you advocated for your fellow students, we don't like the way that you went about doing it by going in front of the class to get this petition going, because it makes it look like it's the students versus the instructors, that we're doing something unfair. And I said, look, we are really struggling. A lot of the students in class are really struggling. And they told us, only about 11 of you are going to be placed with a job. The rest of you won't make it to the 3rd level. We're going to make sure that y'all don't make it. We will make sure that you fail or that you don't make it to the next level, because we can only place so many people, And the truth is that the job demand for LVNs, there's not very much. The only thing you're going to get as far as a job as an LVN is working in a nursing home. And the nursing homes want people that they're going to be able to retain. They don't know who's going to hold a job and who's not. And they saw me as a white kid who was privileged, even though I wasn't a kid. I was a single dad. And I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anyone. And that program falling through for me was a major turning point in my life. I ended up putting my spouse in school in a different program there at Coleman, which she graduated from eventually, 2 different programs actually. And she got a job only to OD 5 years later on drugs that I didn't know she was addicted to. She had kept that from me. I'm a really great stand-up person, and I'm here to tell you that program did me wrong in a catastrophic kind of way. And I should have known when I was speaking to the guidance and admissions counselors downstairs, and they would not give me graduation and success statistics for those programs, even though I was working my absolute hardest to graduate and to do well. I mean, I was putting in really serious time. I quit my job completely. I was unemployed. And my wife was working, and she was going to classes, and I was a single dad and studying 60 to 80 hours a week at this program, attending classes in person, spending gas money, going into debt. I was there on a financial aid grant, and I was having to go into debt to pay for car insurance and gas and lunch and supplies and books and things that I needed for the class. And they didn't give a damn about the thousands and thousands of dollars that I lost. Some students had to take out student loans to attend this program, and they didn't give a damn. I remember the name of the pharmacology professor now. It was Mrs. Ross. That's what her name was. And after the semester ended, I was devastated. I felt really, really bad. And I ended up going to apply back at the same job that I worked at. I lost years worth of raises to come back to that bad job simply so I could have insurance. And my wife would go on to finish her program, that second one that she was in for surgical tech. And I lost my dad. The following year after that program, my dad killed himself. He threw himself in front of a truck on the freeway. And I went through such a period of extreme turmoil and loss, I can't even describe it to you. This was not a small setback for me. I've left internet reviews for this as well. That program is a dream killer. At HCC Coleman, their LVN program is a dream killer. I wouldn't recommend their RN program either based on what I've heard about it. They're going to crush your spirit if they can. They're going to leave you in debt. They will, they'll waste your time. Don't go there. Don't attend HCC Coleman for their licensed vocational nursing program. It's going to disappoint you so much. You will suffer. You put in great time and investment, and you're going to come away with nothing. I'm telling you as a former student. I spent almost a year of my life there. I took prerequisite classes I had to take simply so I could get in there. I had another professor named Victor Taylor who approached me, and he told me that I needed to step up, that my wife wanted me to step up. We were attending as students together in his class. And he's like, you need to be the man. You need to step up. It's none of your business as a professor to get involved or to advise another student, an adult student, child student, doesn't matter. It's deeply unprofessional to say something like that to somebody. Why are you going to come to me and tell me how I need to be a husband when I'm already doing my best? You don't know what my life is like. You don't know the efforts that I make or the sacrifices I've made. Like, go to hell. Seriously. HCC Coleman, you can go to hell. That professor, he can go to hell. Any of those professors who still work in education should be fired. And this is, that's an impartial statement because it has been many, many years since I attended that program. And those educators have deeply, deeply failed students in the Houston Community College system. None of the people who are employed there are likely to be working there now. And I get tired of the sexist and racist bullshit that I see from people. I've been abused by people. I survived an abusive marriage, and I'm sick of it. My spouse ended up killing herself just 5 years after my dad killed himself. And the college system is failing people. It's giving them degrees that can't even get them job placement. Coleman literally has people sign on with the intention of failing out nearly all the students for the LVN program simply because they can't find jobs to place them in. That's ridiculous. Why do I want to come back and take your program just for one class for an entire semester, and then I'm going to have to proceed to the next level and just to get to fail out of the next level? Why would I want to do that? That's what they told me. You're going to have to take the medication math class again when they called me back 4 months later and begged me to come back to the program. Miss Ross was the one who called me. She was going through a bad divorce at the time. She had a daughter, possibly other children, teenagers, and she was working there as an instructor, and she had a bad divorce that she was involved in. She wasn't focused. She advised the students poorly, or maybe they sabotaged us on purpose. Who knows? Either way, the video teleconferencing and the audio were going down at both campuses during the lectures for that class and for other classes. And it interfered in our ability to get the contact hours and the instruction that we needed as students to succeed in that program. And there was no accountability for that. All of the students in the 2011 vocational nursing program should have been refunded their money, but they weren't. We should have sued. And one of the students, I can't remember what her name was, but one of the students said, you know what, I am going to sue, and I'm going to contact the dean. And many of them did go to the dean. And it took many years, but they started to reply to Google reviews and reach out to see how they could remedy the situation with students. I think it was recent. It was like 2024 they started doing that, maybe. They would reply to reviews that were left for the college to see, hey, can you contact us by phone or by email so we can see what we can do? Because their enrollment numbers dropped so catastrophically. They're really having a very serious problem getting people to enroll in those programs now, because this experience people were having was not getting them jobs. You go to college so you can get a job. You get technical skills. You can get a degree program or certificate completed so you can get job placement to feed your family and to feed yourself and save towards your goals, buy a car, buy a house, pay for cost of living and survival expenses. And this college campus, Coleman just made it like a game with some of these programs, especially the nursing programs. To them, it's okay for you to throw away your money, your time. They really don't take it seriously. They're very dismissive. And at the end of the day, when they take your money and they screw you over and they leave you without those technical skills and without that certificate, you're going to say, hey, what am I doing here? Why did I sign up for this program? Your family are the ones that lose the most. It's not you as a student as much as your family, those that depend on you, that are going to suffer for what the college does to you. So my advice to prospective students for HCC Coleman, Houston Community College System's Coleman campus, is don't go. If they won't give you graduation statistics, for a program, placement statistics for jobs, like how many of these students actually get placed? How many graduate? I'm sorry, we don't have those numbers. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for your time. Goodbye. Don't sign up for those college classes at that campus. Don't sign up for the programs at that campus. My wife was a sterile processor and a surgical tech, and she attended the programs there for that. They had a good director, Christine Castillo. That was actually a good program. Both of those, that was a good director they had there. She worked hard for her students. And the LVN program, absolute horror show. Terrible. I'm not typically one to complain, but I've got to the point where I'm so sick of being abused by people that I am trying to hold them to account now for their failings. I'm not privileged. I spent a year of my life homeless. I spent most of my childhood homeless, moving from place to place. And I lost everything. In 2018, from that period between 2017 and 2020, I lost my home, my job, my insurance, all of my vehicles, almost all of my material assets, my furniture, my tools. I went through absolute hell before the pandemic even hit. And it did not get better for years. And I'm thinking back to that program and saying, man, this really set course for me for a long time to come. I was dealing with familial hardships, and this program could have been a lifeline economically. If I had succeeded, I could have gotten a good job, at least something that was steady and full-time that paid better than what I was getting. I lost my job when I got sick many years later. I spent several years sick. And Coleman failed me as a student, just like they failed so many others, probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that have tried to attend there semester over semester, year over year. It's so bad now that they're aggressively reaching out to people through those Google reviews and so forth, reviews that are left on different platforms, to try to remedy their reputation because it's been so completely destroyed. Don't go to Houston Community College's Coleman campus. You'll have a similar experience. You're going to lose thousands of dollars. It'll be a waste of time. It's going to be a disappointment. They will set you back. They're going to mess up your academic record. They kill your dreams.